Welcome to Darcy Street for Saturday afternoon NPL Tasmania football. It's the next step in the title race. It's coming right down to the wire now. We're at the pointy end of the season, and South Hobart Football Club face a must-win game this afternoon against Launceston City. City themselves probably fell out of the race with their loss to Resurgent Olympia last weekend. South Hobart, the only team now who could possibly stop the Devonport Strikers, and they'll need a lot to go their way if they're to do so. But they can only control the matches they play in, and they must get 3 points from this one this afternoon. It's a lovely day for football here at the Theatre of Dreams. Joining myself, Andrew Cooling, to call this one is Paul Hunt. A very good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon as well, good sir. It's a lovely day for football here at South Hobart. It's still one of the most picturesque grounds you can find here in Tasmania, and can't quite call it the top of the table clash here, but South Hobart are still in the title race. Devonport playing at Northern Rangers as well later on this afternoon. They still have to drop points, Devonport, somewhere along the line if South Hobart are to win, but they still have a bit of goal difference to catch up as well, do South Hobart. So I'm expecting them to fire on all cylinders here today. And Launceston City just looking to arrest their bit of form slump here, especially in the last month or so. They've had a few external circumstances probably hinder that, but they've just been a little flat in the last few weeks, and that loss to Olympia, which, I mean, by all accounts, a thoroughly deserved win for Olympia on that occasion, but they'll be looking to bounce back here at the Theatre of Dreams. And as we can see, the ball plinth in use again here at South Hobart. It's an important game. They're running like clockwork here at South Hobart. Proper half an hour between games, and the full setup here. Nothing going to chance for Coach Ken Morton and his team.
It's going to be a big game, as we've touched on, for that top end of the table. South Hobart closing the gap to 3 points. Of course, we can add 3 more to Olympia's tally after last night, but that won't impact the top end. City, well, the win could close the gap to 2, but it does seem fairly unlikely that they're going to be able to close that gap to Devonport, even though they do have the opportunity to beat them next week. It's just hard to see the Strikers dropping that many points in the final couple of weeks, but I guess you never know. So City, the coach all but conceding it in the Examiner in his preview, saying, no, we're out of it now, but they still want to finish as high as possible, and it is a bit of a logjam for second place there, and certainly they'll want to finish as high up the table as possible after a pretty good season. They've surpassed expectations, and whilst when you're 6 points clear on top, you do look at it as a bit of a missed opportunity. They were outperforming expectations to that point of the season quite significantly, and there was perhaps a suspicion there might have been a lack of depth in the City squad, and as injuries hit later in the year, I think we've seen that come to the fore.
Yeah, as it got a bit heavy of the ground in winter here, and just a few players succumbing to injury, but I mean, on the whole, it's a real testament to Launceston City how far they've come. probably the first season of the NPL, they were by far and away last place, and they've often potted around that sort of 5th, 6th and 7th position since then. So to see a club burst into the top 4, one we're not used to seeing, I think that's always good for the health of a competition. So whilst they'll still try and finish second, even at worst case scenario or 4th, it's still, I believe, their highest place in an NPL season. So still successful season for Launceston City, but I still think they'll want to finish as high as possible, as you mentioned.
Yeah, no doubt. But as I said, I think heading into the year, if you'd said you'll finish top 4, people would have said that's a successful season. And I think anything other than that assessment is just shifting the goalposts. But we'll take a look at the South Hobart team, the team in the title race here this afternoon. They can draw level on points, at least temporarily. Devonport taking on Northern Rangers this evening at Valley Road. Kieran Brown in net there, been the number 1 for most of the season after displacing Graham Wright, who came back. There's a chance, but Brown quickly regained his spot and has had another solid year between the pegs. Connor Schmidt has rotated between fullback and central midfield. He and Luke Farrell have very much been interchangeable in that. We'll see where they line up today. The fitness of both Hugh Ludford and Dan Brown means they're out of the team, and it's another opportunity for the archer, Jack Bowman, to partner Oscar Thomas in the heart of defence. Nick Morton, Kobe Kemp, and you'll see those two in the middle. Jack Turner probably leading the line again. We saw him do that last week to tremendous effect. He was involved in all 3 of the South Hobart goals. And then you'll have Alex Walter flanking him. Renato Devecchi Marins probably on the other side. Pretty dynamic attacking unit there. On the bench, Ryan Cook, the chef, Isaac Indighetto, Dan Brown, who is fit enough for the Pine, but I'm not sure we'll see him today. And then Mark Moncourt. And looking at the team sheet, we've also got Hugh Ludford sneaking onto the bench as the 5th player there. So both the veteran defenders there if need be, but it's going to be Bowman and Thomas in the heart of defence today.
It seemed like that's a breaking case of emergency. I think Dogger Brown and Hugh Ludford being on the bench. It'll be more likely the chef Ryan Cook coming on, and also Isaac Indighetto as we look at the Launceston City side. Number 1, Nico Giansopoulos in goals, as he has been all season. Soupy Campbell has moved more to a right-back position throughout the season. Shane Egan and Lindsay Millington. Lindsay Millington's made most of the season at centre-back. Didn't have a stint up front there for a little while as well. Charlie Dyer, Daniel Sison, who's been a real galvanising force in the centre of the park for this City team. Number 9, Tyler Fisher, without his striking partner in Noah Mees here today. The burden of goals will fall even more so on him this afternoon. We've got Jared Linger, Daniel Smith, who's been very impressive down on a wing so far this year. Liam Scott returning for the first time in a couple of weeks to the heart of defence, and Aaron Matarozzi getting a start as well. Played mainly championship lately as Matarozzi. And on the subs bench, you've got Hancock's, Harrison Wicks, Aldridge, and the backup keeper in Lockie Clark. A pretty solid lineup for Launceston City, and still got all their imports in the side this time around as well.
Yeah, managed to keep a hold of them. Nico Giansopoulos was in pretty good form last week against Olympia. Couldn't quite get them over the line, but he was in some pretty inspired form, making some big saves. He saved penalties in consecutive weeks as Giansopoulos, so if we do see a spot kick today, he'll be feeling confident for it. But Launceston City, they have seemed to hit a little bit of a wall in recent weeks. They were, I suppose, getting results from limited chances early in the year. Their conversion rate was really high. Unsustainable was what some were suggesting. I think that's proven to be true, but I think probably injuries have probably been the bigger thing. They've just not quite been equipped to handle them. Good to see Jez Kent back on the touchline too. His father passed away and he went abroad for a few weeks there. Good to see him back involved on the sidelines, and he's had a fantastic season at City, and that's why they've been in the title race for so long. It's been a season of them punching above their weight to a certain extent. But the big story here today is South Hobart. Can they take care of business and then hope that Rangers can do them a favour later on this evening up at Valley Road? Can at least psychologically put that pressure on Devonport heading into that game, Paul.
Yes, that's if Devonport choose to look at the match result there. It wouldn't surprise me if there's a bit of a ban on that going across the team. I mean, it's hard these days with instant media to avoid finding out the scores instantly, but that'd be interesting. They should, in theory, be going through the warm-up up there at Valley Road when the game here concludes, so that'll be interesting to see, but it is pretty much on South Hobart here today. Launceston City can play pretty much with no pressure attached to them. They'll be looking to put all the pressure on South Hobart, and good to see Jez Kent back here. It's hard to believe it's his first season as an NPL coach, and then to take a side to the top four is a pretty impressive effort. He's been around the traps for a while here in southern Tasmania, has Jez Kent, but good to see him stepping up to the NPL ranks as we await the start here at South Hobart. Once again, the 25-minute turnaround from the Women's Super League game to the NPL game isn't enough time. As we're looking at Giansopoulos, I was really hoping he was going to wear the barbecue shape kit, which he had on in warm-up, but he's quickly been told to change to the all-blue number. Good to see an alternate goalkeeper kit in use. It's something often forgotten in the kit bag. I do like that barbecue shape attire that Launceston City can occasionally throw out.
The only problem with it just makes me a little bit hungry.
Yeah.
Watching him play out there. Nico Giansopoulos going through the warm-up there, where she can't be too far away from a start. I mean, South Hobart specifically have their Super League games 15 minutes early to allow the
1:34 the Women's Super League game finished, and everyone was ready out on the pitch, and everyone's just sort of milling around waiting for the kickoff here at South Hobart. The best laid plan's not quite going ahead here this afternoon.
Maybe they said we'll start at 2:05, give them an even half hour. I'm not too sure, but we can't be too far away from action. No sign of the South Hobart players at the moment. They've gone back into their own city. Look, ready to get underway here. Watching Tyler Fisher strike the ball. He is going to be vital to this City side today, especially without Noel Mees. We saw last week against Olympia when he limped off injured, they really lost something in attack. It was then largely down to Fisher to carry the attacking load. He was pretty good when he could start running at Holmes, but most of the day the quicker centre-half Hill matched up with him and did a pretty good job negating him. It's a lot harder to do that when Noel Mees is up there occupying a defender, so he'll certainly have his work cut out for him this afternoon, Tyler Fisher.
Did score a great goal here last time they met at Darcy Street with the flick on from Noel Mees and Tyler Fisher running in behind, so it's going to be interesting to see whether they put Fisher as a number 9 or having him running off the wing still as he has done most season, and interesting to see who they put up front as we now see the South Hobart players coming out onto the pitch. Referees, Charlie White in the centre, Tony Pert running a line as is customary, and Stephen Roach running as the other assistant referee. So nearly the best in the business, which we had last night, but a pretty good cast here this afternoon as players get ready and warmed up to go. And it'll be interesting to see Oscar Thomas and the archer Jack Bowman have got a bit of pace about them. It could possibly be a reason for Ludford and Dogger Brown being on the bench. Whilst they've got a lot more experience, they probably lack that touch of pace to deal with Tyler Fisher, also coming back from injury as well, the two of them. Charlie White there exchanging a joke with the Launceston City players. And we're nearly ready to go here at Darcy Street. A crucial game in the title run-up. It's a cap going on there from the assistant referee. Clearly know who's going to be on the far side of the ground.
Yeah, the sun in the eyes hasn't been a big problem this season, but
not sideways rain for once.
We've had a couple of nice weeks at Darcy Street now as Thunderstruck customarily blares out around the ground as Renato DeVecchi and Liam Scott exchange a handshake there. Before the handshake, so just getting double the action there, those two, and good to see Liam Scott back. I was a little surprised to see him in the starting lineup. I was under the impression they'd ceased flying him down, and
word is he's going to be playing most of the rest of the season as well. They're looking at getting him back down as, again, Thunderstruck playing out. AC/DC, the lightning bolt symbol. Surprised we don't have it engraved on the pitch here at Theatre of Dreams, a la Central Coast Stadium this morning. It's a disappointing overlook there from the Hobart City Council.
Yeah, not sure it'd be overly appropriate here, but I know you can't contain your excitement at your new marquee signing for your beloved Mariners there, Paul. We've got a couple of fairly quick customers out here, not quite on the Bolt level, but the likes of Alex Walter, Renato Tavecchi will have plenty of pace, and probably the quickest of anyone out there will be the Lightning American, Tyler Fisher up top. He's got some serious wheels and certainly will be key to their hopes today. Round 19 got underway last night. A big win for the Olympia Warriors over the Hobart Zebras. 4 goals to 1 in favour of Olympia. We'll see what happens this afternoon as Daniel Syson and Nick Morton go in for the handshakes. Morton captaining the team in Dan Brown's absence, as he has quite often this season. So how does City pick themselves back up? They've had a tough few weeks. I think it'll be the sell from Jez Kemp. Let's not let this year go to waste. Let's see if we can't get into second place, roll South Hobart, lock that in, and that would still be a fair achievement.
I think it'd be a very good season for Launceston City. As we mentioned, as Charlie White finishing the coin toss and the pleasantries. Nick Morton, former Salad of the Week winner, doing still got that lovely salad rocking there this afternoon. As we get ready, I'll stick my neck out on the line and make a quick prediction. I still think South Hobart have just enough to win here. I don't think it'll be easy, particularly the first hour or so, but just how they come home in the last half hour of a match, especially with something on the line like keeping the pressure on Devonport and second place as well, still up for grabs as well as first. I think they might just outrun Launceston City here towards the end. Let's go 3-1 for me. I'll even be very specific.
Yeah, all right. That was, I must say, when I was doing my initial tip, I was under the impression Tyler Fisher and Liam Scott were paying, but hell, I've gone with it once, better stick with it. I've gone 5-1 South Hobart. I think they've got the motivation today. I don't know that City do. I hope I'm wrong, because I hope we get a much better contest, but I reckon South could do this comfortably, especially if they play as they did in that first 45 last week. But certainly less comfortable with that prediction. I can see Tyler Fisher just running out there.
I would let you off changing the prediction, given that with Scott and Fisher only appearing on the lineup at about 12 o'clock here today, as Oscar Thomas taking the ball inside his 18-yard box, just about does enough to clear it, but now Connor Schmidt does the rest. And it's Turner, who is playing at that number 9 role as predicted. Millington in the centre of defence. Looks like Liam Scott's lining up in centre mid as well here today. Turner winning it. DeVecchi to Morton. DeVecchi continues his run. He looks for Connor Schmidt down the left-hand side. Trying to go down the line and keeping his feet well. In the end is Soupy Campbell. Striding away is Campbell. Now Gorry. Probably should play it short here under significant pressure and lines the Frenchman, Luke Farrell. Jack Turner there with a good stiff arm. It was like an American football running back there from Jack Turner. DeVecchi tripped again. No foul. Syson, Farrell. Both sides really wanting it here in the initial offering, and Millington does just enough to get across and on-rushing Kobe Kemp.
Yeah, looks like Kobe Kemp's going to rotate a little with Jack Turner and thrust himself forwards there. As South Hobart on the attack through Connor Schmidt. Interesting to see Liam Scott lining up in defensive midfield too, as DeVecchi does well to work it back to Schmidt. Swings the cross in, but that'll be comfortable enough for Gian Sopoulos. No issues there for the Canadian, who launches long. Tyler Fisher, the target. He'll be the lightning rod up front all day, you'd suspect, as Luke Farrell nods it to Walter. Knocks it back to Adam Gorry. Good challenge there from Millington coming through the back of Turner. But it's worked out to Morton. Morton to Gorry. Gorry swinging the cross. That's a poor delivery there from the fullback. He'll need to improve in that department.
Put that one down to rust, I think, Adam Gorry. As we look at the Launceston City lineup, it is Fisher up top on his own. He's got Daniel Smith and on one wing. Just sitting in behind there, we've got Charlie Dyer, who the ball goes over his head, and Luke Farrell cleans up. Now Gorry puts it down the line. Jack Turner, a willing runner. Coming across is Shane Egan. And Dyer can't quite keep that one in play. But yeah, you would think with Scott coming back, he's been partnering Millington most of the season. They had a pretty good combination going through the middle third of the season.
I wonder if maybe that's a response to Jack Turner playing at centre forward, anticipating that, wanting the physical presence of Egan in there, and then Scott bring the mobility perhaps into the midfield instead. Just wanting that bigger, stronger body back in defence perhaps. Just Kent's thinking on that one, just changing things up a little. DeVecchi finds himself in space and he turns away and works it to Walter. Walter's got a few to pick out. He tries the snapshot instead, and it's a little wide of the mark, but South Hobart in the attack in the early goings here.
Good to get a shot away early, Alex Walter. Linger did have the angle towards goal covered pretty well on that occasion. South Hobart looking lively in the opening few minutes. Occasionally been a little slow getting going in some games this season, South Hobart. That one's launched by Giansopoulos in the Kemp direction. He wins the header. Scott wins it now for City. Now Walter. Turner. He'll look for the return ball. Gorry was also on, but doing just enough. Here's Jared Linger. Thumps it away. It's now Schmidt. To Loic Farrell. Oh, sells Bowman short there, and Fisher manages to intercept. Bowman does just enough to put him down the line. Not a lot of help coming for Fisher, but he now wins the throw.
Yeah, the Archer sliding in there on the angler. Doing pretty well to Bowman. He's put under a fair bit of pressure. Sison offering short. Instead, goes for Smith. Flicks it back to Farrell. Deveki Marins. Wants to switch the play, but he put it well behind Adam Gorry, who's got to go back and retrieve it. Now, Darcy Street's favourite ranger looks up and knocks it to Oscar Thomas. Morton holding off Matarazzi. I think we might run with Matrix as the nickname of. Just, you know, makes sense. Close enough to Matarazzi in my book. There's Jack Turner in a scrap there with Charlie Dyer. Did well, young Charlie Dyer. Works it to Liam Scott. Scott with his head up now, further afield to Smith. Wants a run from Sison, unforthcoming, so he goes himself, Smith. And just lacking the quality on the shot, but some clever work there to find the space.
Yeah, did well down the wing, did Smith. Just couldn't quite wrap his foot around it enough to really challenge Brown, as Morton now tries to find Kemp. Only finds Millington. Loic Farrell with the first time ball out towards Walter. Linger marking him very closely so far today as Kemp looks towards the back post. But it's going to go right down the throat of big Nicky G, who launches it high into the sky. Bowman gets there before Fisher. Will fall to the American striker eventually. He's got the giraffe, Oscar Thomas, for company. I think he wanted a corner there off the leg of Oscar Thomas, but managed the nutmeg. Now Gorry. Foul given for the trip from behind. Actually looks like Scott and Matarazzi are sort of alternating defensive midfielders, playing with two holders today. For the most part, it would seem here, Launceston City. Walter finds Oscar Thomas. Doesn't have a whole lot of options, so plays it short to Kemp. Goes back to Walter. Morton's going to look to play it again to Schmidt, who made an inside run, and Soupy Campbell read that one the whole way. Bowman keeps the ball in. Deveki couldn't quite get a hold of that one, and it stumps clear in the end from Smith. Possession very much with South Hobart in the opening few minutes here.
Yeah, I don't think we expected anything else really. City will sit back, try and absorb, and then look to use the pace of Fisher on the counter as Kobe Kemp didn't quite connect with Jack Turner there, but it's Nick Morton seizing on it, skipping around Linger, and Linger recovers well and blocked the shot. Just enough to hold him off without fouling him too. Morton with a second crack though. On the non-preferred left, it was definitely the non-preferred. A poor pass there, straight to Matrix, who broke it up, but they get themselves in a bit of a mess here, and Walter works it out to Deveki. Deveki up against Soupy Campbell. Deveki drives to the byline. Now with the cross, Kobe Kemp. This time's a volley, and it's going to stay in play. Comes down and hits the scone there of Alex Walter. Good control in the end, and a very clever flick through for Deveki. Back now to Connor. Schmidt tries to pick out the far post and just bent it a little too much, and in the end out for a throw-in.
What a pass from Alex Walter. That backheel to completely full two Launceston City defenders, and almost like Deveki Marins was going to come across and interfere with play from an offside position, but in the end Walter came across, and it was an absolutely fantastic pass, and Connor Schmidt is wrapping his foot around it too much as Walter's back on the ball. He's got Deveki inside, and Millington has to clear in the end. First corner of the match falls to South Hobart. Deveki Marins looking to cut inside and really exploit the space behind Egan and Soupy Campbell here this afternoon. Pretty decent wind coming in off the mountain as well. There's Gorry Looks centrally, but the ball's gone out of play. If Charlie White will look up, this mad scramble, it's all for nothing as the referee's flag came up nice and early.
Gorry, not the best delivery so far through 10 minutes. First cross sailing well over the top, and second one from the corner going out of play. So really just perhaps struggling with that wind you mentioned there, just how to best negotiate it. Didn't want to hit it too centrally initially, and we'll come back on that breeze, but overcompensating a little just for now as Giansopoulos chips this one up to midfield over everyone's head. Kemp with a foot on, almost lets in Tyler Fisher. Kemp. Sison closes that one down. Throw in for Gorry. Gorry. Goes to Kemp. Walter. Full pass, and I feel like this game needs a spark to bring it to life. All a little bit flat out here at the moment. Maybe it's just coming out of the bloodbath of Warrior Park last night. And last week here, obviously, it was bouncing after South had such an explosive start, but just a little bit subdued at the moment, Darcy Street.
Enough yellow cards in the first half last night to last us most of the weekend. As, the Archer looks to find a teammate. Walter just wins the flick on in front of Linger. Lovely turn from Turner. Goes to DeVecchi. He's against Soupy Campbell. Scott trying to come back and second defend, but Soupy Campbell does just enough. DeVecchi in a little bit of a wrestling match. Play allowed to go on. Morton charging into the box. He's got Scott to beat, who stands up well. Held his ground against the on-running Morthog. DeVecchi Marins still down on the ground behind players. Tyler Fisher looking to exploit the space behind the giraffe Oscar Thomas. And he gets a toe out for a throw-in, and the referee will come back and look at DeVecchi, clutching a hand, it appears.
Yeah, something to a hand, it would seem there.
Must have just fell awkwardly in the pile-up with Soupy Campbell.
Yeah, it looks like... Well, it's left hand there. It's got pinned under Campbell a little bit there. So DeVecchi will get some treatment. I don't know if it's a wrist or finger that needs popping back in or something, but we'll get some attention there as Jack Turner continues down the right. Spins out of play for a South Hobart throw in.
If it's option 2, I'm not looking at DeVecchi Marins for the next minute. He's got to pop a finger back in.
Yeah, I've had one of those ones before. Great deal of fun. Just the matter-of-fact way that the physios tend to do it, so highly comforting. As Linger sweeping across behind, chips it in the Smith direction, nods on to Bowman. The Archer. Short to Morton, who had William Scott on his tail. Now Oscar Thomas, looking forward. The giraffe Walter began his turn before he trapped the ball and is forced to slide in to win it back. Gorry just keeps it in and works in the Walter direction. Gets a toe on it back to Loic Farrell. Feral TV to Morton, gets clipped, and fairly obvious foul spotted there by Charlie White. And DeVecchi's told he's allowed to come back on, but he's not quite ready yet.
No, he's not really in a position to come back on. Still receiving treatment as Kobe Kemp, the dead ball specialist for South Hobart, is over this one. 4 in the box for South Hobart against a wall of black and white stripes. Morton now joins. It's Kemp over this one towards the back post. Millington rises. Morton, first time volley. Great save. Nicky Giansopoulos eventually cleared. Down the line towards Fisher. Schmidt pushing the back that Jez Kent wants, but nothing forthcoming. Kemp to Schmidt. Oscar Thomas has stayed forward for a little while and will work well with the left back. Turner tried to roll the defender in the end, but great save, Nicky Giansopoulos.
It was a good volley from Morton too. A snapshot from the middle of the box. Millington's clearing header landing right in his path, and saved by the Canadian Kobe Kemp. A little bit of room here for Kemp to bend one, but he never really gets body position correct. Just skews it horribly wide.
Becky Marins still off the park as we have a look at this set piece again. Falls to Nick Morton, who rifles it first time. At a good height for the keeper, but one that you've got to make a quick reaction save. That one will hopefully go on his own highlights reel. Giansopoulos. DeVecchi Marins comes back on the field, still clutching at that wrist, so we'll keep an eye on that. We had a few injuries in the first half at Warrior Park last night. Let's hope we don't have the same again this afternoon as Giansopoulos launches it long. Walter flicks it on to his own defender. Nearly works for Tyler Fisher, but Oscar Thomas does enough to clear. As you can see, the wind keeping that one in play. It must be a pretty stiff breeze out there. Scott can't quite control it. Kemp to Morton. He's looking up and wanting Walter, but Scott cuts down the angle. Turner with Egan to beat, does well. Now Morton knocks it out for a throw-in. Only the one real clear-cut, two clear-cut chances for each side in this first half.
Yeah, Morton probably with South's best moment. I think City really will just be looking to hang in for this one as long as possible. If they can get to the hour mark still at 0-0, then the pressure really amplifies. Ooh, they could go 1-0 though if Smith can get round Thomas, who in the end will deal with the situation. Schmidt comes across, but the longer they can keep this game at 0-0, the more the pressure's on South to find that go-ahead goal, the more they have to overcommit forwards, and that's when you've got the likes of Tyler Fisher, who can be such a threat in behind if there's space to exploit.
I mean, the start of the second half in the last game, Lonnie City didn't really have a lot going for them, and then in two passes, Tyler Fisher was one-on-one with the keeper and absolutely rocketed a finish in. So I think that might be how the match ends up, as Soupy Campbell does just enough to clear that one out of play, although apparently took a deflection off Deveki Marins. I had the customary pole in my way.
And the dreaded pole striking again. Deveki back for Connor Schmitz, lining into fullback once again today with Lloyd Farrell, the deepest of the midfield. A wrestling match there between Turner and Egan. And in the end, a free kick given there against Nick Morton, perhaps.
Again, the dreaded pole, don't look at me.
Quarter of an hour gone here, and City just starting to settle into the contest a little bit. Have a little bit of the ball down their end. Egan standing over this one. His colour was lowered by Deveki Marins in like a cup meeting, but otherwise had a pretty good season, Big Egan. That's a lovely ball, and will it fall for Fisher? Not quite. Morton able to steer it away. It could have landed anywhere in the box there. Now Nick Morton looks up, and he spies Alex Walter down the middle. He heads that way. Giansopoulos able to collect. I think initially he might have wanted to play that switching ball to Adam Gorry, but the wind is making it really tough to play that particular pass today because you're just hitting it straight to the teeth of the wind.
Yeah, and I think Linger read that as well. He tried to keep the inside line on Alex Walter. He knew that, well, it didn't have an enormous amount of pace on it. It was always going to stay inside, as that's a nice pass from Kemp. Finds Gorry. South Hobart's favourite Ranger yet to get completely down the pitch into the byline like he does from his right back position. Walter. Scott for company. Fancy back heel Gorry into the box, and Shane Egan hits that one into Ginger Brown Cafe.
Yeah, just about. Decisively cleared, and the second ball is going to be killed on here. Big heave comes from the monkey there. Good service. Sidelines there. Mark Moncourt. Very attentive.
Very happy to keep his spot in one of the 5 oldest players to play in an FFA Cup game the other week, with that guy from Darwin not getting on the pitch.
Yeah, Moncourt's record protected there.
Thank you, Andy Howe, for that stat.
Adam Gorry chips this one back. Of course, FFA Cup continuing on Tuesday. Devonport in action against Avondale. Deveki Marins turning around Matrix here, then treads on the ball. Kemp comes in to recover it. Farrell, slight miscontrol, and almost lets in Sison. A little bit scrappy in the back there, but they managed to keep a hold of it. Now Thomas just stands it up for Turner, away by Millington. Matrix working it forward again. Connor Schmidt wants to go to Bowman. Bowman to Luke Farrell. And, just underhits that one. Soupy Campbell flex off of Morton. Sison using his body well on Luke Farrell. Shielding him, then turning back and wins the throw in.
Did well there. Did the barber Daniel Sison to hold off Luke Farrell. Shielding it well as Soupy Campbell goes down the line to Smith. Looks for Fisher, who turns inside. Bowman into the box as Tyler Fisher on the left foot. And once again, another left foot cross-come shot that falls out for a throw-in.
Yeah, didn't get the head down on that one, I don't think. Tyler Fisher just burnt off Bowman, which goes well for City, but there's plenty of coverage in place on this occasion for South Hobart. Gorry looking for Walter. Walter's had a number of those first touch passes today. Campbell breaks that one up before DeVecchi can get in. Smith with an up and under. Sison against Feral TV did well, and then just coming in the side and clattering into Kobe Kemp was William Scott, quickly taken by Kemp. Straight to Jared Lenger. Now Charlie Dyer. Couldn't find Fisher. Oscar Thomas. Back to Kieran Brown. Round to Bowman. And Morton, who's been quite deep and dictating and directing traffic at the back here, is Morton, the captain, looking to lead. It seems like Kemp's playing slightly more advanced, with Morton a bit deeper than we've seen him so far today, although quite interchangeable. There's that entire midfield, and Jack Turner up top. As Adam Corrie's rather unceremoniously brought down. Well, we labelled him Matrix early on. He's mirroring his style too, with a few of these fouls early on here, Matarozzi.
Yeah, left the leg in there for a while, Dig Matarozzi. And the first slice of cheese for the game. Nice, just making sure he went down there, Adam Gorry. It was well, Matarozzi just getting two hands, almost pushing him down as well afterwards, as Kobe Kemp passes to Farrell, now to Vecchi Marins. Morton, again, still the deepest out of him, Kemp and Turner, and that was a clip off the ball by the Morthog. Looking to take it quickly, Soupy Campbell. He'll leave that one for Egan. And South Hobart with a couple of little bursts forward, but still looking a tad flat through the first 20 minutes. That one to the chest of Sison. Morton immediately pressuring. Now DeVecchi's got it. That's another side down from Sison, and White gets out the slice of cheddar for that one. DeVecchi Marins again hobbling up with that wrist, but fairly agricultural challenge there from Daniel Sison. He's not particularly anywhere near the ball.
That's a shocker. That is an absolute shocker from Sison, and quite rightly given a slice of cheese. So 2 doses of dairy there in a minute. Launceston City, and setting the physical tone for the game. Morton chips this one there for Walter to run onto. Want to work it back to Schmidt, but Millington with his foot in that passing lane. Throw in for Schmidt. Turn on the target, chests it down. There's attention from both Millington and Egan, and they concede the corner. Morton will wander across to take this. And the Giraffe lumbers forward. Some concern down there on the South Hobart bench. Deep in discussion at the moment. The coaching staff, as Morton takes this one short, then punches it in. Clever little ball, but well shut down by Smith. Now Liam Scott. Adam Gorry first to it. Did well. The header to it. Morton fakes the cross, then swings it in the Kemp direction. Turner also there. Jack Turner! Oh, that is clinical stuff from Jack Turner. The cork in the ocean. He simply wanted it more, and an emphatic finish. And a question's being asked about a high boot, I think, from Launceston City.
Yeah, a lot of protests coming from Launceston City, but good dummy there from Nick Morton. All falls down. And he's just controlled it in front of Millington, who went for the header, knocked it down, turn and volley. Full credit to Jack Turner for that one. It's a lovely take out of the air from the cork in the ocean. Jack Turner not bobbing up with the head on this occasion, but bobbing up with the first touch. As that puts, relieves some of the pressure on South Hobart here today. As Soupy Campbell down the line to Smith. Loose touch, so it falls to Morton. Schmidt. Farrell looking for the goal scorer, Turner. Egan will look for the sideline. Keeps it in play, and Morton, who's almost as an auxiliary centre-back, who's so deep at the moment. Fisher stays on side. Brown thought about coming off his line. Fisher waiting for some willing runners. Bowman surely tripped him from behind there, and now a set-piece opportunity for Launceston City. Bowman just leaving a leg in when he thought she was going to pass.
Yeah, Really clever that from Fisher. Shields the ball, Bowman bites, he sticks the leg out, draws the contact, he knows. Can hit the deck is just by Andy Brennan out of the corner of my eye in spectating down here. There's Tyler Fisher. Chips this one to the back post. It's a good ball. It's headed over the top. Not far away. City's best moment of the first half there. Supreme delivery from Tyler Fisher. This was not far away either. A couple of targets there. Smith. Off hand in the end of that.
I think Smith headed it onto the back of his teammate's head, who was just behind him. We couldn't quite get a number on that one, but I think that's what happened there. It's a lovely ball from Bowman. Gorry, an always willing runner. He's got plenty of ground to make up. Well, he does make it up, Gorry, but Linger does just enough to deflect it off his shin for a goal kick. As South Hobart coming under immediate pressure after scoring. Giansopoulos still not in a terrible hurry to take this goal kick. He sends it short to Egan. Deveki Marins presses quickly. Heavy touch from Campbell, but keeps it in. Fisher's making a diagonal run. Runs out of options. In the end, Nick Morton just pushes him in the back and concedes an unnecessary free kick. He wasn't really going anywhere, was Soupy Campbell. Running fairly aimlessly, and now the tall timber of Launceston City can stride forward once again. It'll be William Scott over the dead ball. Looks centrally, getting up is Oscar Thomas. Headed back into the box, Millington wins it, falls to the ground, shot, and right at the keeper in the end. And Sison coming in. Brown just having to hold his position there. It fell right to his feet. And it was Sison in the end, I think. Bowman down the line to Turner. Little clip there from Matrix to Vecchi Marins. Always wanting the ball is the Brazilian, Gorry. Being shown inside. Pretty much just knocks that one right into the scone of Liam Scott.
Adam Gorry. Looks for Kemp. Kobe Kemp turning onto the right. Shifts back to the left. Gliding as he often does, Kobe Kemp. They give him too much room and he gets the shot away. Giansopoulos able to save, but he just can't afford to sit off Kobe Kemp. Give him that much room. He's a very dangerous operator. Is ordered by Thomas to get a foot in there. Charlie Dyer sees the ball. The Tyler Fisher goes a little nutmeg down the line. Very nice stuff. And then plays the ball looking for Smith. And Kieran Brown was alert to the danger.
South Hobart's bench was frantically looking at Tony Pert for any potential offside call if that one went through, but Brown came off his line well. Turner, probably the hungriest player on the pitch I've seen today, Jack Turner. He's wanting to win absolutely everything. As Scott tries to find Fisher. Just stay in the field of play. Behind to Matrix. Immediately pressured from Loic Farrell. Now Linger. Gorry. Matrix just whacking it into Loic Farrell again, who's pushed forward from defensive mid. Fouled off the ball in the end, and that'll relieve some pressure. South Hobart just getting the foul count out. Foul count up a lit unnecessarily here at the moment. Just giving away some cheap fouls in and around the middle of the park. Just giving Launceston City an opportunity to stop and reset. That one's played short. Linger. Pressured by Turner once again, and it's a cheap turnover for City. Lovely nutmeg by Kobe Kemp to Morton. He's got Deveki Marins down the left-hand side. Alex not to go there. They've got 6 bodies back now at Deuce City. And unfortunately, Kobe Kemp can't quite find Morton again. It was a good idea to play the ball in behind the centre-back.
Just a wrong option in the end. Just play past the other centre-back.
The Archer, Jack Bowman, turning around to his keeper and saying, where was the shout there? It would have got to Kieran Brown on a one bounce then.
Yeah, not sure it required the shout. Definitely honest, as Campbell launches this one along. Schmidt back to the middle. Sison, Smith, back to Sison, back to Campbell. Tried to take it past Deveki Marines, who sensed the chance to roar off the other way, but spills out of play. Two coaches down there on the edge of the technical area. Sison off Deveki, won't go out of play though. Schmidt back to Deveki, sloppy touch but recovered it. There was nothing sloppy about that, from sloppy to silky in the blink of an eye there from the Brazilian. Now Kobe Kemp. Kemp looks up. Walter making a run and hits the deck in the process. Great ball in the end, finds Nick Morton, who just lobs something up in the air, gives Jack Turner something to jump at least, but I don't think that was his intention. But eventually Giansopoulos will sweep this one up and knock it long. Tyler Fisher attacked it well. Jack Bowman's header went straight back into the Sison direction, who threads a ball. It's just out of the reach of Smith. And Thomas will be able to play it back to his keeper.
Yeah, just needed a bit more pepper on that one with the through ball, did Sison. Smith had made an intelligent run using the space that Connor Schmidt had vacated. Sison jinking and turning, trying to get around Loic Farrell. Just standing behind Adam Gorry was Fisher on his heels. South Hobart's favourite runner launches one down the line. Walter, a willing runner. Linger playing safety first. Probably had the opportunity to play in the keeper there on that occasion. It'll now, as we tick into half hour gone, and there's 1-0 South Hobart. Jack Turner the scorer, and Adam Gorry pressing forward, trying to wheel South Hobart on for a second. As we mentioned, goal difference, should Devonport slip up, will become a factor in the end as Kemp wins the corner off Liam Scott, who's covered plenty of territory so far in this first half. Kemp thinking of taking it short, and does. Gives Gorry a bit of extra room to whip it into Vecchi coming up, but Giansopoulos all over that one. Tyler Fisher, beautiful ball to feet there from Giansopoulos. Matty Ryan-esque distribution there, and Jack Bowman just doing enough to stop Tyler Fisher from turning and running. Lovely ball from Giansopoulos. As Linger strides forward to take the throw. Coming short is Fisher, and wins a foul in the end. And well, we haven't got the cheese count as we did last night. There's been a few niggly fouls in this first half.
And a couple in quick succession. Yeah, South Hobart certainly committed a lot of fouls around this part of the pitch too. There's been a long range free kicks coming in from Sison fairly frequently. Here's the latest of them. Teasing ball. Thomas gets his head to it. Hits the deck. Who can pounce? Cleared away to Campbell. Trying to get past Deveki Marines, who got the better of him, the Brazilian, who's now running at Matarozzi. Gets past him into the middle. They've done pretty well here, the City defence, although Jack Turner able to jump back on it. It was a poor pass straight to Jared Linger. And now saunters forward himself. Looking for Dyer. That was broken up. Sison back to Matarozzi. Getting his body on the line was Walter, but Matarozzi to hold of it, then coughed it up to Loic Farrell. Deveki Marines. Cody Kemp leaves it for Morton. Schmidt making the bombing run. Thought about it, and then just hesitates, waits on the ball. Finally opts to play it short to Kobe Kemp. Well charged down by Egan. Loic Farrell curling it. Morton was offside. Now Sison. Sison back to Campbell. Soupy Campbell chips it forward straight into the path of the Archer. And now Deveki Marines senses a chance to run, and he threads it through for Alex Walter. He's got Jack Turner in the middle. He heads towards him. You can find only Giansopoulos.
Yeah, just too close to the keeper in the end from Alex Walter, and the game's really stretched here at the moment. Neither defence is playing a particularly high line, both worried about each other's pace in the attacking third. There's a nice touch there from Fisher. Manages to put in Dyer. Dyer's got Sison and Smith at the back post. Looks towards Sison. He's in the box. Takes a touch left foot. And Sison puts Launceston City back equal on this occasion. He's rocking the Deli Alley celebration there in front of the photographer. Is Sison, but a clinical finish.
Oh, there's a man who knows exactly where to celebrate. He scouted out that Linda Higgins there just set herself up that corner, runs over, and that's a wonderful piece of work from Syson. Shifts it onto his left and fires it past Kieran Brown. 1-1, and you did mention the game was just starting to get stretched, and Launceston City the beneficiaries of it.
Certainly are, as I still don't understand that celebration. Seems to be doing the rounds the last 24 hours in the world, and I've still got no idea what the hell it is.
He's a trendsetter, Paul Deli. If he goes with it, the legions of adoring fans.
Daniel Syson, a trendsetter as well.
Absolutely.
Especially giving some decent haircuts to the north of Tasmania.
So he's got his side back on terms here. More importantly, Daniel Syson, South Hobart, who was seemingly in control of the game, find themselves having to work back to hit the lead as DeVecchi Marines couldn't quite combine with Kobe Kemp. They've just been a fraction off with some of their passing in the final third so far, South, and this is always the threat back the other way when Tyler Fisher can run into space. South Hobart able to get bodies back in the way this time, but Daniel Syson looking to break the lines here. He glides past a couple, and then he's unceremoniously tumbled down by Jack Bowman, who coughs up a free kick in a very promising position.
Well-earned slice of cheddar there as well for the archer, Jack Bowman. And Syson bursting through the heart of South Hobart's defence. He's going to have to take an impeccably timed challenge to stop Syson, and forthcoming from the archery. Beat Morton for pace, which is not something you see very often, and then Bowman, one of the more obvious free kicks you will see. It's Fisher and Syson over the ball from this free kick. I think it would favour the right footer. Lining up. This Syson goes low. Oh, dropped by the keeper off the crossbar from 2 yards out. And eventually that's hoofed up into the air. It's Smith underneath it. Smith sizing up what to do. Soupy Campbell eventually getting there and conceding the corner. Oscar Thomas needed quick reflexes, but what a miss.
That's an absolute howler of a miss. It's another great contender for miss of the season as Brown makes a bit of a mess of this one on the non-preferred, but I don't know how you get that much elevation from 2 yards out. He scoops it onto the crossbar. It's so frustrating for City. In the blink of an eye, they've nearly taken the lead here, and South, who are firmly on top. This is quite the wake-up call for them. They need to click back into gear here because City looking in the mood all of a sudden as Fisher curls this one in. We'll fall to Kobe Kemp. Kemp for DeVecchi Marines, who's got a little bit of room to operate, and he's got Nick Morton in support riding shotgun with him. DeVecchi heads out in the Morton direction now. Morton up against Soupy Campbell. Throws in a step over. Campbell gets the ball. Morton down, but it was a good challenge. Got ball first. And saving the day there was Soupy.
What a tackle by Soupy Campbell. Fantastic sliding challenge. Morton still feeling the effects of it. He's a slightly biased former defender. I love a good goal-saving challenge, and that's exactly what that was from Soupy Campbell. Perfect technique. Someone who's spent a good portion of his career as a winger rather than a right-back, but he's done exceptionally well there this season. And now Farrell finds DeVecchi. Back heel only finds Linger. Scott plays a nice one too. Fisher beaten out to it by Kemp, and now Gorry will look to repel. Plenty of space in the middle of the park here today. Very stretched from both sides as Walter tries to get in behind Linger, and he does. Walter into the box, cuts it back to Vecchi Marins. Oh, good save. Giansopoulos took an awful bounce in front of him, and great reflexes to stick out the right hand.
It's a huge save, I reckon, from Giansopoulos. Reacting just in time. Walter gets his head up, looks, did it absolutely perfectly, put it DeVecchi Marins between the legs of Campbell, and this takes a deflection right in front of him. And he has got his positioning spot on there. Giansopoulos throws out that right arm. It's a big stop as this game really starting to come to life now. It's wide open, the chances starting to flow, and South Hobart have a corner that's again gone out of play from Gorry. Just a little bit wasteful. It's quickly taken, too quickly taken. And that's very fortunate indeed for South Hobart.
Didn't know you couldn't not take a goal kick quickly, given that's on the line. There was nothing terribly illegal about it. Not that I've done a referee's course for a little while, but I didn't think that was an issue. We're on there, Launceston City. Giansopoulos will head back to take a more conventional goal kick. Right towards Syson. He beats out Farrell. Finally falls to Morton. The Frenchman gets it back. Turner left it for DeVecchi. Soupy Campbell mops up. Schmidt keeps it in. It's DeVecchi sizing up his options. The switch is on here. It's just played a bit behind Gorry. He'll have to stop and work their way up again. It's Kemp with Matrix for company. Kemp can't quite get around the defensive midfielder who knocks it out of play for a throw-in. Kemp putting his arms out, wanting a few more options from his teammates there and getting a slightly frustrated figure of South Hobart players.
Yeah, they've been slightly off with a few of these passes. This one might land into the path of Walter. Jared Linger defending him. There's just been a number of moments where you can see the play opening up if they can just hit the target, and passing's just been that half a yard off, which has probably cost them. And South Hobart, I reckon, have been jolted to life by that crossbar hit that would have made it 2-1 if Smith had to put that one away. From seeming control to trailing in the game. Quite the turnaround, but South Hobart with plenty to do here. They're going to really have to earn these 3 points this afternoon, it seems. Devonport would dearly love them to slip up here. They would probably head off to Avondale with the title in tow should they get the job done at Valley Road this evening.
Yeah, even I think a draw would, in this game, would pretty much set up Devonport. They'd certainly feel a lot less pressure on the Rangers game. Oh, sorry, I meant the week after. But yes, Avondale midweek for Devonport. Whilst it's another team from NPL Victoria, probably a slightly tougher challenge than what they faced last time in Northcote City. Avondale been on top, in the top few in the NPL Victoria the last few years.
Yeah, they've two ends of the table really. At second last time, now you're playing second, so quite the turnaround as Nick Morton does really well to weave his way through, and in the end might have been afforded an advantage there. He didn't have a lot of support, but seemed to be flowing. He takes the free kick quickly to Adam Gorry. Gorry, Kobe Kemp. Kemp with that trademark ball. He's hit it to perfection for Walter, who couldn't quite find Turner, clawed away. Kobe Kemp on the drive, and the follow-up is well over the crossbar. South Hobart just reawakening here as we tick towards half-time.
Jack Turner was not too far away from beating Giansopoulos at the near post there. Always difficult to try and glance the header from that situation, and that's all he had to do. Walter put enough power on the cross, and it's not far away at all. Cork in the ocean, bobbing up nearly again, Jack Turner. Giansopoulos once again gets this one towards halfway. Sison and Farrell, the usual battle, and the Frenchman wins it on this occasion. Soupy Campbell not in a terrible rush to retrieve the ball. Just on the DeVecchi Marines injury, he's got a bit of a wrist and thumb bandaged up, but he still has looked pretty okay the last 20 minutes. Fisher tries to play it inside, and Gorry read that one like a book. Good dummy from Farrell. Morton finds Turner. He stayed onside. Millington dropped back. Soupy Campbell dives in and wins the challenge. Good tracking back there from Campbell. Now Connor Schmidt striding forward to take the throw. Turner barking out instructions of what he thinks the team should do. Schmidt to Turner, lovely back heel. DeVecchi Marines inside the box. Foul from behind and penalty given. DeVecchi Marines storming into the box, and the challenge from behind came from Soupy Campbell, who receives a slice of cheddar for his trouble. And South Hobart with a chance to go back in front.
How about this from Jack Turner? So clever. Puts the back heel, and then just clumsy really from Campbell. DeVecchi, I mean, he knows what he's doing. As soon as he hits the contact, he's going to hit the deck, and he gets the contact. So just clumsy really that from Soupy. And DeVecchi himself is going to step up and try and put his side back into the lead as Giansopoulos comes out to play some mind games. Well, there's a slice of cheese for Nico Giansopoulos. And that is extraordinary mind games from the keeper in the 45th minute. I've seen it in the 93rd minute. I just don't know about the wisdom of it in the first half. But look, I'm all about that from the Canadian. We'll see if it impacts him. There's a couple of locals just suggesting he does it again. Like, that is terrific banter.
That's wonderful from Nick. I'm in absolute shock he's done that. I mean, as you say, you've seen it 93rd. If it's a deciding penalty, just rocks up and goes whack.
That's just about
Good technique.
I thought he was just coming out to do the, is the ball on the penalty spot? No, the ball is not the penalty spot anymore. And my favourite reaction out of all that was just Charlie White, who's just turned and gone, really?
What the hell?
Well, if I must, issues in the yellow ticket. And we'll see if it's had any impact on the Brazilian, as after the big delay, he steps up to take. It's Deveki Marines. It's saved by Giansopoulos. It's 3 in 3 weeks for the Canadian. This is an extraordinary record from the penalty spot. And once again, he's made the save. And you've got to say, the mind games have worked.
The mind games have worked. It's a bobbling penalty stop, outstretched paw. Nico Giansopoulos, take a bow. The mind games have clearly worked. I don't know if you had to go to that extreme for the mind games, but it's clearly put off that extra minute and ending up with the goal kick. 3 in 3 weeks for the big man. Is Loic Farrell keeping his side in it today? Is Giansopoulos. Egan just connecting with Morton. Charlie White wanting to have a chat a bit further away. Doesn't look like he wants to get out of Cheddar. Pulling over the captain as well.
Just real shades of Diego Alves about Giansopoulos at the moment. I think he had something like a 50% penalty saving record in La Liga, which was considered just freakish. Like Giansopoulos is going at the moment, you're less likely to score. He's got 3 in 3 weeks now. That is just phenomenal from the Canadian. He just continues to amaze. That was the area of his game that wasn't meant to be a strength. As Connor Schmidt goes for the nutmeg on Liam Scott, shuts that one down. Wasn't let that happen, and then he waltzes past Morton too and tries to kill a ball, just perhaps getting a bit far ahead of himself there, Scotty.
Yeah, a bit of Olay there from Liam Scott. Not quite working with the pass, and I mean, it's one thing to have a team that can't quite convert the penalties. Egan goes whack and launches that one into Washington Street and has cleared the grandstand from the defender. It's one thing, as I was about to ramble on, to have a team that misses 3 penalties in a row. That has happened before, putting it wide, changing penalty takers, but to have the goalkeeper physically save 3 in 3 weeks is a rarity. And take a bow, Nico Giansopoulos. He's certainly preparing enough for his own highlight reel just from today only. As Turner finds Schmidt. Lovely interchange of passing between the two, and Schmidt hits it. Giansopoulos saw it the whole way as we're into the 46th minute. Probably maybe another minute as well. We had the injury to Deveki Marins plus the Nicky G antics. Good touch from Fisher. Sison, he's still going Fisher in the end. Scott immediately crowded out, but does well to find Campbell. Smith to Sison. Scott in about the furthest advance he's gone this game. Turner holding it up well. Kemp calls for handball, not heeded. And Egan now trying to chink through the South Hobart defence. Great touch and skill from the big man at the centre half position. Schmidt to Kemp, surely preparing the last attack of the half. South Hobart, Adam Gorry. Connor Schmidt, very compact here. They're not very spread out, all the players, but Morton finds a pocket of space, looks for Turner and calls for offside. Heeded from the assistant referee. Looks like it's going to be going into the half at 1-1. Giansopoulos, as we have a look at that penalty save again, didn't go too early. Giansopoulos waited for the ball to be hit and just stuck out that right palm. Fantastic save from the Canadian.
And still only the second best bit of that play. I mean, that was distinct number 2, the save itself. Extraordinary mind games from the Canadian. Nico Giansopoulos. I have been wanting to see someone do that in the flesh for a long time. So thank you very much for that, Nico. Do question the wisdom of it in the first half, but look, at the end of the day, it might have just impacted Deveki and caused him to miss that one, which is why City remain on terms, pulling a goal back after they trailed to an early strike. We'll have a look at the 2 goals. Nick Morton with a fantastic little fake and then bang, Jack Turner attacks the ball. Millington just dropped the head down to head it away and didn't deal with the situation. Jack Turner profiting, made it 1-0, and really in the first 20-25 minutes it was looking all South Hobart firmly on top. As we have a look at that, emphatically done from Jack Turner.
In any other game, that'd be a great highlight. Lovely touch out of the air from Turner, and to turn and shoot in that one motion.
And back on terms, the cross comes in. Syson does well to control it, skip round Bowman, and finish on the non-preferred in style. They made it 1-1. A minute after that, they hit the crossbar from 2 yards out. Should have been 2-1. And then Devecchia Marines later in the half with the penalty opportunity gives South Hobart the lead. And Giansopoulos with the save. So 1-1, and both teams should probably feel they should be ahead.
Yeah, I think both sides will feel slightly aggrieved. South Hobart probably had the more possession, and Launceston City missing inexplicably from 2 yards out. I'd probably think they should have 2 goals. But it's all about Nick Giansopoulos for me. I'm still in shock that someone's done that in the flesh. It was a brilliant piece of mind games, and then to back it up with the save. Going to talk the talk, but he's walking the walk here this afternoon at Giansopoulos. We'll be back in about 10 minutes for what should be an exciting second half here in the NPL Taz, so stay tuned. Wrestling match play allowed over this one towards the back post. Millington rises. Morton first time volley. Great save. Nicky Giansopoulos. Kemp. Over this one towards the back post. Millington rises. Morton first time volley. Great save. Nicky Giansopoulos. Eventually cleared. Down the line towards Fisher. Schmidt pushing the back.
We go 1-0 though if Smith can get round Thomas, who in the end will deal with the situation. Schmidt comes across. But
Smith looks for Fisher, who turns inside. Bowman into the box as Tyler Fisher on the left foot. And once again, another left foot
so far today, but quite interchangeable. Same time midfield. Jack Turner up top. Adam Corrie's rather unceremoniously brought down well.
Morton immediately pressuring. Now Devecchia's got it. That's another side down from Syson, and White gets out the...
Morton makes the cross, then swings it in the Kemp direction. Turner also there. Jack Turner! Oh, that is clinical stuff from Jack Turner. The cork in the ocean. He simply wanted it.
Coming off his line. Fisher waiting for some willing runners. Bowman surely tripped him from behind there, and now a set piece opportunity.
Tyler Fisher ships this one to the back post. It's a good ball. It's headed over the top. Not far off.
Was Oscar Thomas. Headed back into the box. Millington wins it. Falls to the ground. Shot and right at the keeper.
Maybe Kemp, they give him too much room and he gets the shot away. Giansopoulos able to save, but he can't afford to sit off Cody Charlie Dyer. The ball. Tyler Fisher goes a little nutmeg down the line. Very nice stuff. Then plays the ball looking for Smith. And Kieran Brown was a little...
He's got Syson and Smith at the back post. Looks towards Syson. He's in the box. Takes a touch left foot. And Syson puts Launceston City back equal on this occasion. He's rocking the Deli Alley celebration there in front of them.
We get bodies back in the way this time, but Daniel Syson looking to break the lines here. He glides past a couple, and then he's unceremoniously tumbled down.
Up. Syson goes low. Oh, dropped by the keeper off the crossbar from 2 yards out. And eventually that's hoofed up.
Morton up against Soupy Campbell. Throws in a step over. Campbell gets the ball. Warm down, but it was a good challenge. Got ball first. And saving the day there was Soupy.
What a tackle by Soupy Campbell. And he does Walter into the box. Cuts it back to Becky Marins. Oh, good save. Giansopoulos took an awful bounce in front of him.
Kemp, that trademark ball, he's hit it to perfection for Walter, who couldn't quite find Turner, clawed away. Kobe Kemp on the drive, and the follow-up is well over the crossbar.
Team should do. Schmidt to turn a lovely backheel to Becky Marins inside the box. Foul from behind and penalty given.
Kvecki himself is going to step up and try and put his side back into the lead as Giansopoulos comes out to break some mind games. Well, there's a slice of cheese for Nico Giansopoulos, and that is extraordinary mind games from the keeper in the 45th minute. I've seen it in the 90th to take. So Becky Marins, it's saved by Giansopoulos. It's 3 in 3 weeks for the Canadian. To take. Becky Marins, it's saved by Giansopoulos. It's 3 in 3 weeks for the Canadian.
Here's Loic Farrell. Keeping his side in today. Here's Giansopoulos. Egan.
I'm back.
Welcome back to Darcy Street for the second half of this round 19 clash, a crucial clash at that between South Hobart and Launceston City. The hosts desperately needing the 3 points if they're going to keep their title hopes alive. And made all the more difficult by a penalty save from Nico Giansopoulos just before half-time. His third in 3 weeks, and after the mind games in the build-up, just walking up and belting the ball out of the complex. Fantastic stuff there from the Canadian. Really top draw, and that has kept Launceston City in this one, although they could well have gone ahead had Dan Smith not managed to hit the crossbar from 2 yards out. So it's been a bit of a seesawing contest so far. Both teams will think they can win it. Who do you give the advantage to heading into this second one, Paul?
I think it's, well, the pressure again is still on South Hobart. They're the side that really needs the win today. Launceston City obviously wanting to try and get second position and get as high as possible as they can in the table, but it's South Hobart that are still in title contention, so I think the pressure is more on South Hobart in this second half. Launceston City have done a good job for most of the half in terms of setting up defensively and just letting South have possession, sitting deep to stop the runs in behind from Walter, and it'll be interesting to see if either side mixes it up at half-time. I thought it was a pretty even contest throughout. It had its ebbs and flows as we're just waiting for the match to start. Coach Ken Morton striding onto the pitch. Not sure what brought the Silver Fox on. Maybe he'd like to bring back the glory days and have a kick.
Well, the Fox heads over to Feral TV, which is quite fitting, I suspect. But he's obviously just got some last-ditch advice here for the players. I think we're just waiting for the referees here at the moment. So all the players certainly seem to be in readiness. Not sure what's causing the delay.
No, it's got proof that you can't have a game without referees. It's one of the integral parts of our game.
Yeah, the clock. It might be that these teams are just both out early, to be honest. So we're ready to get back underway now as Charlie White leads the referees back out there, and Ken Morton will stroll back into his technical area. And the hostilities can resume. The game locked at 1-1. If it stays this way, it'll be just the perfect result for the Devonport Strikers. South Hobart need the 3 points, and they're going to have to push on and try and find the goal. The longer it stays level, the better it will be for Launceston City, that's for sure. Might find a bit of room in behind if they can just keep this game locked up for as long as they possibly can. Sison gets us underway, knocks it back to Campbell. Nearly aimless ball, that one, to nobody. Schmidt went for South. And he just takes his time, doesn't see a lot he likes. So across to Kieran Brown, who, geez, just shades of Penachek about that one for a second. And managed to keep it in. Bowman. Another sloppy opening, this from South Hobart. And Gorry wins it back. Walter. And Walter. And now for DeVecchi. First time chip. Tried to find Turner. Picked out Millington. Millington to Jared Linger. Linger to Fisher. Fisher back to Linger. Jack Bowman showing good anticipation. And Turner tried the first time flick straight in the chest of Millington. Egan steers it away. Well anticipated there by Connor Schmidt, who carries forward. He's got DeVecchi wide left. He heads that direction. And DeVecchi slides it back through for Connor Schmidt. Good return ball. Looking for Turner. The offside flag is up. Not happy with that decision is Jack Turner.
For Connor Schmidt. Good return ball.
Looking for Turner. The offside
He was yelling out, wasn't out, that wasn't out. Well, it was offside, that's why it wasn't out.
Yep. And Sophilus to take, and yeah, Jack Turner was quite right.
Yeah, he was. Perfectly correct. Just, another infringement had been noted already. No subs, it looks like, from either side at half time. Gene Sophilus gets us back underway. Kemp walking backwards in a defensive position, but he's actually won the throw in on that occasion. And it'll be Schmidt to come across. Gets the return ball off Kemp. He's got DeVecchi down the line. Looks like he's going to go himself in the end, and it's cleared towards Scott. Scott's only got Fisher up ahead. Oscar Thomas. Fisher gets there first, tries to go through the legs, but it had just rolled out of play. He was on there, Tyler Fisher. Nice turn to get around the giraffe, Oscar Thomas. It'll be Schmidt to put the ball back in play. Kemp's making a run, and that's the direction he goes. Nice back heel from Kobe Kemp. DeVecchi Marins to Schmidt. Long ball in the channel. Millington should get there first ahead of Turner. He tries to turn around the attacker, does well. Egan fires it in. Millington playing a dicey game with Kobe Kemp down there in the corner and nearly taking out Linda in the corner. Saying he could have cleared it somewhere away from the expensive camera.
Another throw in. Go the way of City with Soupy Campbell. Down the line he goes, looking for Sison. Taken away from him by Connor Schmidt. Real great pace out of the blocks here early in the second half. Just calm across the ground. Any nervous anticipation from the South Faithful. They know they need the 3 points today. That's lovely from DeVecchi. Beats one, beats two, and keeps on going. It's Renato DeVecchi Marins in full flight, the Brazilian. Can he finish off his work now? He chips it in towards Turner, well away. But Morton's there for the follow-up, and he gets it all wrong. Falling over the bar, but delightful stuff from DeVecchi Marins.
Not the easiest of chances for Morton. Just got over it slightly and skimmed off the outside of off the boot, but DeVecchi Marins finally getting a chance to show his pace and his skill. And he's dribbling down on the left-hand side. Found a teammate well. It's Giansopoulos launches that one. Not shooting as much as he did early in the season, I think. DeVecchi Marins looking to cut the ball back or play on it, or pass it, I should say, at most opportunities. Not as selfish as we saw at the start of his career here at South Hobart. Gorry with the running throw in, just legal. Walter turning inside, loose touch, finds Scott. He'll return it though, Alex Walter. Kemp and DeVecchi. DeVecchi with another chance to run at Soupy Campbell. Lays it off to Kemp, who finds Morton at the back post is Turner, and he looks in that direction. Calls for offside, and Turner is offside as we still have a Launceston City player down behind play. Cool. It's Daniel Sison, the goal scorer, clutching at the hip. And he'll seek treatment of some sort. The captain, Sison. And no real great chances on goal in this first 5 minutes of the second half. Sides taking a breather. Should be right to continue the captain, Daniel Syson. Not sure what the trainer in that situation, Roger Mees, was going to do with a water bottle and nothing else in terms of medical equipment. One of the more impromptu first aid kits I've ever seen brought on the field by the physio.
Yeah, a bit of water, placebo maybe.
Pour it over his head or something.
Yeah, drinking. She'll be right, but a smile there from Syson suggests he's going to be just fine. And he's immediately asking to come back on. Literally the second he walked off the pitch, his hand was up saying, let me back on. So he's just fine. Luke Farrell heads it towards Turner. Turner for Nick Morton. Yeah, foot in there was Egan. Connor Schmidt. Farrell back to Cody Kemp. Field Maestro finds Gorry. Takes it inside, shadowed by Syson. Kemp to Bowman. Bowman pressed there by Dyer. Walter and Farrell, and his pass unable to link up with either Gorry or Walter. The move comes to an end.
Bit too much sauce on that one on the return ball. And Launceston City again, as they were in the first half, not in a huge rush to get things going quickly. As we see Isaac DeGhetto warming up next to Linger, who will take the throw. Down the line, Syson. Flick on. Walter keeps it in play. Touch from Dyer. Millington and Turner trying to exchange arms. Fisher trying to get in behind Schmidt. He headers away well. Matrix with a diving header. Turner with another back heel. Morton, they got 5 in attack here, South Hobart. And Morton just sends Alex Walter a task. He's got the pace to keep it in. Gorry just slightly on his heels and he'll concede the corner in the end. A promising move for South Hobart. Comes to naught.
Got some good work here from the stats man, Benny Smith. Just letting us know, record for yellow cards in a round is at 26. We're already at 14 so far here, and we're early in the second half of game 2. So a little bit of history could be created in the NPL TAS this weekend. I'm not just talking about the capacity for Devonport to have wrapped up the title, should South Hobart find themselves unable to win this one. And it's City looking like they're a little bit more confident now. There's a bit of a spring in a few of the steps out there of these City players. They're pressing up and starting to believe that maybe they've handled what South can throw at them, and they can start asking a few questions back the other way now. I
think Giansopoulos has already made it a history-making round, both with the saves and with his antics to get the yellow card prior to it. So I'm all for even more records going in this round of NPL. There's, again, Soupy Campbell stride forward to take the throw in. Into the feet of Syson. Gets around like Farrell. Doesn't have a whole lot of options in the box. Does the captain, and it falls to Deveki Marins. Egan intercepts that one in front of Turner, and long ball down the line. Dyer's making a good run and thumped clear as the archer. Right into the heritage listed grandstand. He hasn't caused too much of a dent. Expensive things to fix, heritage listed buildings.
I reckon that one would have copped a few balls and clearances down the years as Syson, his pass broken up, but he recovers it, then Morton wins it back again. Alex Walter down the line towards Turner. Millington gets his foot to it and then coughs it up to Gorry. Well, that's surely handball against Egan. It's a very good block that he's made. Is there going to be a booking to go with it? He's going to consult with linesman Tony Pertier for his opinion here. This is a big moment in the match. He's stuck the hand out to make the block. What will the verdict be here? Bit of indecision here from White. He's gone back to his linesman again. He's not sure. It's hit Egan straight in the arm, outstretched from the body. He says, come over here and have a chat. Big moment in the game, this one. What colour are we going to see? It's a slice of cheese.
Yeah, I was thinking that was probably the correct call. He was clearly going in for a sliding tackle with the feet, Egan. And the arms have to go somewhere when you make a slide challenge. If the player kicks it into it, I'm not sure what else you can do, but Definitely a yellow card. That's certainly not 10 yards from Matrix there.
Hang on a sec, he's about 2 yards away.
Just as an understatement, not 10. He's probably about 6 at the moment anyway, and it nearly hits his head. Nearly a diving header there from Alex Walter. Falls to Morton, gets back in the box, and Giansopoulos claims that one. Not really pacing out the 10 yards with the magic spray there, Charlie White.
I'm not convinced that Matarazzi isn't Matarazzi. Some of the hijinks he's pulling out here today very reminiscent of the former inter-defender, the Matrix, as he was known. He had every trick in the book. He was a master of the dark arts, and seen plenty of that from Matarazzi so far this afternoon too.
There's a nice bit of dark arts about this Launceston City team with what's been happening in defensive midfield, and Giansopoulos. A few crunching challenges from the centre midfielders as well. Soupy Campbell looking to take the throw in. Chewing up every possible second here at Launceston City down the line. Looking towards Dyer, but goes over his head. Morton now on the ball. Good covering challenge in the end from Matrix, but DeVecchi Marins now. He's got 4 Launceston City players for company. Means Jack Turner's in some space, but a fairly weak effort in the end from the striker. Giansopoulos quite get enough on that one, but it does fall to the feet of Sison. Wonderful dummy from Kobe Kemp. Lets that one run out for a throw. It'll be Schmidt to Kemp, to Vecchi Marins. To Morton. He's got a pocket of space here, Nick Morton. Beats one, tries to beat another, gets on the right foot, but puts it over the top because of a deflection by a Launceston City player. Another corner for South Hobart. Completely sold Shane Egan down the river there. And it was the outstretched foot of Lindsay Millington getting in the way there.
Gorry giving the short option, despite the fact City have got 2 players there. They take it, and they've worked it pretty well in the end, to be fair to them. Nick Morton tries a little fake cross again, and then gets it to Gorry. Linger working up on him. Back to Kobe Kemp in space. It's Kemp on the drive. It's always wide of the mark. But we've seen him hit him from there time and time again. Kobe Kemp, not a man you can give this kind of room at the top of the area too. Perhaps being on the non-preferred is the saving grace there for Launceston City.
And ending up with a shot from Kobe Kemp on the edge of the box isn't the worst use of a corner. I was wondering where they were going with it there for a while, as it is Matrix coming off. There is Matarazzi, and coming on is Harrison Wicks, who we've seen come off the substitutes bench a few times this season for Launceston City. Unfortunately, one less player who masters the dark arts on the pitch, which is unfortunate. It was Mike Farrell. Wins the header, goes to Schmidt. To Vecchi Marins. Constantly has 3 players around him, and it's Luke Farrell down the left wing. He's got 4 in the box to aim for, cuts it back to Vecchi, couldn't quite get there. Farrell this time goes towards the back post. Weeks with a clearance with the outside of the foot, gives it away. Giansopoulos, good save. Not the first touch the substitute wanted there. Harrison Weeks nearly presenting an opportunity on a platter for South Hobart. It's Connor Schmidt. A lot of players in unfamiliar positions here at the moment. Look, Farrell down the right wing, Connor Schmidt in the middle of the box.
He's shown a good eye for goal this year, Connor Schmidt. He might have some room to manufacture a shot here. He curls into the mixer. Away by Giansopoulos with the double fist. Going to come back at them though. Adam Gorry on it. Oh, he's lost it there to Wicks, and now they're a chance to break here. Launceston City. Wicks storming down the left and threads it through for Tyler Fisher. Kieran Brown cleared it straight into Fisher. How will it land here? Smith, it was an awkward one for him to deal with. The keeper well off his line. And yeah, if you get a hold of that one, he had an empty net, but South Hobart survive. And now they go back the other way. This match really opening up. Kobe Kemp running at the defence. Soupy Campbell, he turns onto the right foot here. Kemp wants to square it for Walter. Works it back for DeVecchi. DeVecchi fakes and then turns and shoots straight at Giansopoulos, and maybe the return ball was what was required there.
Yeah, I think commented before that DeVecchi Marins is taking less shots and passing more, but he probably should have passed on that occasion. He's got another opportunity. Nearly one there from Smith, and he did just enough to win the ball. Did Daniel Smith. DeVecchi Marins looking more and more dangerous in this second half as it goes on into the 60th minute mark. Talking pre-game, but these sides are usually pretty evenly matched. Well, anyone South Hobart plays, it's pretty evenly matched until the hour mark. And then that last half hour, call it Moreton time, call it whatever you want, they tend to kick on a bit and do their best work between the 60th and 90th minutes, and they'll be hoping for the same again. Down the left-hand side, crossed into the box to the feet of Turner, falls to Morton, and Nick Morton puts South Hobart 2-1 in front, a scramble in the box, but a good left-foot finish from the Morton.
Yeah, just sweeps it home. Morton had been coming, they've been knocking on the door for the last few minutes here. Kobe Kemp, wide on the left, gets the ball in. Nick Morton does what he does best. Jack Turner, that's really good work from him, just gets it away there from Millington. Not a whole lot Giantsopoulos can do about that one. The Warthog sweeps home, and you mentioned they get stronger as the games go on, I think, as well as the psychological, the confidence from doing it time and time again. It's just simply they're the fittest team in the comp. They start pre-season before anyone else. Their players are in a better condition, and that's why they run those matches out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Devonport probably the exception to that.
Yeah, but over the course of the NPL, you can certainly give it to South Hobart as doing it time and time again they tend to hit the lead at around this mark. And now Sison starts us off. Aimless ball that Gorrie will clean up quite easily. Interesting what Lonnie City do from here. Will they continue to push on? Will they search for that goal or keep playing the more sit-back, counter-attacking style they've played throughout today? Morton dropping ever deeper as the Archer goes forward, looking for Kemp, who beats Egan. Linger has got Walter for company. Pulls to Walter in the corner. And I think the last touch is off Alex Walter, off his ankle. So Tony Pert pulls a goal kick for that one. Giantsopoulos still not taking it in a particular hurry. Barking out instructions to his team. Mickey G sizing up the options. Goes towards Loic Farrell. Linger moves it long to Bowman. Loic Farrell to Kemp. South Hobart back on the attack down the left-hand side. Deveki Marines battling with Soupy Campbell, who had to win that challenge. On a slice of cheese is Campbell striding forward. He's beaten three, and then Kobe Kemp finally gets back and intercepts.
Swung forward, Jared Linger's touch straight down, cushion for Walter. Walter turns onto the right, works it to Turner. Turner returns it to Nick Morton as he stayed onside here. He has the Warthog. Oh, back across the face, dangerous ball. Nothing comes of it, but the clearance charge down by Deveki. Recovered in the end by Scott. Egan will be able to clear the area, and they work it down the right for Campbell. Chips it further afield to the angler Tyler Fisher. Dropped it back to Sison. Now Smith. Sison again. Key movers getting involved here for City, and that's a lovely ball from Sison. Jack Bowman just able to get across before Smith can find a way to it. This is lovely work from Nick Morton. Great velocity on the cross. Short back left across the face. Dangerous areas. Nothing quite coming of it. It's the type of delivery that so often will lead to a goal if someone's made that run. And we left with a tap in. Thrown in, Sison the target. Malik Farrell does it nicely. Clearance goes straight to Liam Scott. South a little flat-footed, curled back in. Gorrie with a touch back into a dangerous area. And now Nick Morton just blasted on out of there, not a bad option. Millington can play back to Giantsopoulos here. Sells him a little bit short though, the Canadian, who works his way out of trouble just fine. Millington long towards Wicks. Gorrie to Walter. Charlie Dyer comes across. Somehow that stays in, and Turner trying to put that little move on Millington we've seen him use a few times today. Unable to get past him this time.
No idea how that stayed in play. Adam Gorrie wanders on to take the throw in. Zach DeGhetto's been doing one of the longer warm-ups I've ever seen on the subs bench. He was primed and ready to about 20 minutes to come on for Deveki, and he's still going in the 65th minute. He's in DeGhetto. Walter. Gorrie. Kemp immediately pressured by Scott. Back to Gorrie. Like Farrell passes it to nobody in particular. It goes straight out of play.
I wonder if DeGhetto's just doing the old cricketing trick here. Just start stretching out the arms, rolling the arm over, just giving the suggestion to the captain, I'm ready to come on, skipper, if you need me for a bowl. And DeGhetto maybe just trying a similar approach with the Morthog here. Look at me limbering up. He needs some pace up top. I'm good to go, Kenny. Get me on.
I think the Wiley Silver Fox might have seen that trick a time or two in his years of coaching, but not the worst idea from DeGhetto. And as Deveki Marins being tempted to shoot, and Walter just keeping it in. We've got a lot of options down in the corner flag with him. A bit early to start aiming for that. Gets a throw in off Linger. Again, as predicted, Dogger Brown and Hugh Ludford moved from their Bunnings plastic chair in the technical area. So I think they were very much a break in case of emergency type substitution option.
I don't think we're going to see them unless one of the centre-backs got injured. Deveki Marins, clever back heel. It's Walter. He tried to pick out the far corner, but just got too much of it. And gee, they've made good use of the back heel today at South Hobart. And, at least half a dozen times that they've created good openings in the final third by using it. It's been some really flashy stuff from the South Hobart side today.
Benefits of some indoor training, I think. We've had a pretty wet week here in Tasmania. Maybe working on some little flicks and tricks on a small-sided game during the week. It's certainly paying off here this afternoon. As Deveki lays it to Schmidt. Launceston City haven't had a whole lot of possession in the last 10 minutes. Turner inside ball to Walter, gets his first touch. Walter! Oh, just mishits it, and Gene Sopoulos does enough to stand his ground and then make a comfortable save in the end. Didn't quite get enough behind it, did Walter. And now South Hobart start again. Morton. And Gorry on the right-hand side. He's got time. Doesn't like what he sees, so we'll switch it out. Morton and Farrell to Deveki. Again against Soupy Campbell. Connor Schmidt. Got time to run at the defence. Kemp. Eventually given away. Only as far as Deveki Marins, South Hobart. Keep on piling the pressure on Launceston City. Who are dropping deeper and deeper their defensive line. Schmidt to Walter, who's in space again. He's got time to hit it. Walter! Oh, he got some power behind that, Alex Walter. Quite the direction. Probably looking more for the far post rather than the near post, but he got good bit of leather behind it.
Yeah, really gets the laces through that. That's an absolute rocket. She had Sopoulos at full extension. That was absolute howitzer, just wide. Far away from putting a hole in the back of the net, I reckon that one. As this one's flicked on. Morton smashed that one forward looking for Turner. Away by Egan. Just down by Smith. Morton has been very deep midfield today. Switching ball played to the far corner. Jared Linger back there for City and concedes the throw in. There's a little territorial gain there. Kobe Kemp. City have something left here to give to fight back into the game. I think if South can find a third, that would be the knockout blow at this point. Kemp. Morton. Gorry. Eludes him. Wicks will get on with it. Sends it in the Sison direction. He's bracketed by a couple. Bowman. Forward there, Deveki scrapping with Scott, and Deveki wins that duel. And the Brazilian takes off towards goal now. It's Deveki Marins. Jared Linger did just enough to impact him. Still going Kobe Kemp. And good foot in from Soupy Campbell. He steers it away, and Kemp opts to keep it in play. He looks up, drops it in for Morton. South just keeping a hold of it. Schmidt. Schmidt turning back inside and then centres it for Adam Gorry. Gorry, that's shut down by Wicks. Sure he thought his way through that one, and now Tyler Fisher with a chance to get out in the open field. Thomas does well, and the ball played in towards Sison. Sison uses his body well on Bowman, who recovered and blocks the shots. And City's best moment in a little while there.
Well, that's exhibit A of why South Hobart need to get a 2-goal advantage And now they've got another opportunity. Walter into the box. Giansopoulos comes out. Oh, just puts it in front of Turner, who couldn't quite turn home an open net. Really need that another goal, South Hobart, with Tyler Fisher's pace on the break, and Syson tending to stay a bit further forward. They are still a chance to nick a goal on the counter-attack, Lonnie City. I just don't think they've got two in them based on their performance in this second half. They've been holding on for dear life most of the last 10 minutes as DeVecchi, lovely bit of skill to get around one. Passes to Walter, return ball, DeVecchi, back post, Giansopoulos, and he used a pretty well-worn phrase. The thing about South Hobart is they're always trying to walk it in. They are just trying to walk this third goal in, possibly just unleashing it. Right. Jack Bowman with a unnecessary look-away pass and deep in his own defensive half as the game comes to an almost standstill. Connor Schmidt just got the freedom of that corner of Darcy Street all to himself under no pressure whatsoever. Launceston City not pressing at all here.
I think they're lacking the legs to keep doing that now. They'll try and pick them off on the counter through Fisher, as we saw their best moment a couple of minutes ago there. DeVecchi starting to loom large over this contest though, and he pulls the trigger himself this time and easily saved. Comfortably dealt with by Giansopoulos, who is finding himself under siege at the moment. South pushing hard for this third goal. Make sure of the victory. They don't want to leave that door ajar. Leave themselves open to being burnt late on in the piece. Syson to Dyer. Starting to enjoy a little bit of possession, but they've coughed it up here to Kobe Kemp. Kemp sliding it through for Turner. Turner looks to beat Millington. He recovers and steered it away. Just trying to knock it past him there, Jack Turner. Properly defended by Millington. Wasn't going to be done in something that rudimentary.
Just getting further and further back to the 18-yard box. The Launceston City defenders. South Hobart doing what Launceston City have been doing most of the game, and in no real hurry to take these throw-ins. The South Hobart's David Ranger, Adam Gorry finds Walter. Short to Kemp. Calls for handball on Turner, not heeded. Now Dyer looking to break. Goes behind his teammate. It's well intercepted by Schmidt. Kemp to Morton, who's now pushing further forward as the match wears on. Got Soupy Campbell for company. Syson comes across. Whips it into the box. Turner chests it down, and DeVecchi blazes that one over. They're certainly getting the shot off target stat well up here at South Hobart.
Good combination play this one. Just the simple ball in from Morton. Turner does really well to work it and then blast it over the top as I think that's Finn Aldridge coming on for Launceston City, judging by the back of his head. And number 16, yep, definitely Finn Aldridge coming on, and he'll replace Charlie Dyer. So substitution made by Jess Kemp there, and he'll hope Aldridge can just bring a bit of freshness and some running in those legs to give a little bit of a push here at the end.
Good just starting to recognise people by the back of the head. It's a good trait to have.
Yeah, useful from the current commentary position. Giansopoulos launches this one, and Walter rises up and nods it straight out of play. A fairly optimistic shout from the South Hobart bench, that one, I'd have thought. Jared Linger. Sun in the eyes, a rare problem as he looked on by Wicks. Aldridge's first involvement. Linger. Now Syson up against Farrell, the two front midfielders each side have there. Here's Jack Turner, speaking of grunt, he does well, works it out to DeVecchi Marins in a bit of space, and he looks to gallop off into that space and then slow things down. And they'll start the slow, patient build-up. Back to DeVecchi via Kemp. Has a run here at Campbell. DeVecchi Marins, he drives to the byline, sliding in was Egan and puts it behind for a corner. 15 minutes left to go.
Been all South Hobart of late as DeVecchi looking to attack into the box and Egan coming across. Just got enough of the ball. As Kobe Kemp strides over to take the corner kick. South Hobart still committing a fair few bodies forward. No one short, so Kemp puts this one into the mixer and clears everyone in the box and goes out for a goal kick. So just some of the sting starting to go out of this contest here this afternoon. South not looking like losing from here. They're pretty confident, but there's still only one goal up.
Yeah, that's the worry, isn't it? Because it only takes one moment, especially when you've got a player like Tyler Fisher up top. He only needs the slightest opening. South would dearly, dearly love this third goal to kill off the contest. Just put that pressure back on Devonport ahead of their tie with the Rangers this evening. Of course, the scenario, a very simple one. If the Strikers win 2 games out of their final 3, they will be champions. If they were to draw points in 2 of them and South were to win their remaining 3 games, then South would be the champions as Jack Turner turns it inside. Scott left it behind. Millington for Campbell. His hands full with DeVecchi today, and that one's straight to Lloyd Farrell. Just taking the sting out of that attack. Connor Schmidt wandering forwards. A bit of a meander here from South Hobart. That's a lovely ball though for Jack Turner. Shapes it inside for Kobe Kemp. Kemp wants to pull the trigger. They do a good job denying him that, but now he works it to Turner. Turner onto the right. Jack Turner, can he kill them off here? Well defended by Egan. They recover the situation well, and they're just trying to get the shot away, but every time they lift that leg to take the shot, they find a City body in that shooting lane.
Yeah, they're certainly doing enough to get bodies in the way at the moment, Launceston City, but just a little bit more ruthlessness, I think, is needed at the moment from South Hobart. Kemp likes to take it short. No one is near Connor Schmidt at the top of the box, and he fires over again. He's going to take a pearler to score from that area. Did score a rocket from about 20 yards out at Warrior Park a few weeks ago, Connor Schmidt. Didn't quite do the same on this occasion. Giansopoulos take the goal kick. Launched high into the sky. Sison trying to win it. Falls to Walter. South Hobart now trying to attack down the far side with DeVecchi. Battling with Sison. Gets it to Campbell. It's a return ball. Soupy Campbell going through the middle of the park. Kobe Kemp tracking back with a lovely challenge from the centre mid, and that's got some space. 3 down the left-hand side. It's Egan versus DeVecchi. DeVecchi gets past 1. Getting into the box. Goes past 2. Sison with the shoulder barge. And that will be a slice of cheddar for Daniel Sison. DeVecchi always lurking. And that is a slice of tomato for Sison. His 2nd yellow of the game. So the captain is off for Launceston City.
He is, and now Giansopoulos, can he make it 4 in a row? I mean, he's made 3 penalty saves for his last 3. And Kobe Kemp's just grabbed this ball and gone, "You're down hurt, Renato. I'm having this one." I think he's probably a bit sick of watching his teammates miss spot kicks. I think 3 weeks in a row, South have now had a penalty save, so been left a little bit. Sorry, not the Devonport game. Discard that one, but they've had a number of spot kicks saved in recent weeks. After previously Adam Gorry was an absolute dead-eye dick from the spot, hadn't missed in his career, but they've had a few penalty issues and. You're on a yellow, Nico, so just watch yourself here, buddy.
Lindsay Millington getting a yellow card as well for probably some back chat there on Charlie White. So this yellow card record's looking pretty likely. I don't know if 2 yellows is counted towards that total card individually or just 1, but...
Yeah, I think it goes down to the tally. I think we'll chuck it in there. There were 2 yellows shown.
Yep.
Anyway, Kobe Kemp, can he find a way past Giansopoulos from the penalty spot? He saved his last 3. Can Kemp be the one? He is. He sends him the long way and makes safe the points. South Hobart 3-1 now. They'll win this game and they'll keep up the pressure on the Devonport Strikers. Someone finally finds a way to beat Giansopoulos from the penalty spot, and that someone was Kobe Kemp.
Yeah, first time in 4 attempts getting past Nicky G in goals, and it took having 2 penalties in 1 game to do it. Just sizing up what Giansopoulos is thinking in the particular match. Kobe Kemp rolls it to the left-hand side of Giansopoulos. With Sison off the pitch and Launceston City down to 10 men. And I think this game is all but over. Linger passes it right to Morton. Turner back to Morton. Probably look to keep possession here for the remaining 10 minutes. South Hobart. Luke Farrell. Searching ball out wide. Finds Connor Schmidt, puts it into the box, but Turner not quite there. And after what we've already talked about is the longest warm-up, I think, in NPL Tas history, Isaac DeGhetto is finally prepped and ready. So clearly he stood behind the Silver Fox, Cam Morton, for long enough, and he thought, I'll finally bring you on for some fresh legs, kid. As Schmidt takes the throw. Kobe Kemp pressured by Fisher. Walter. Nick Morton. Been watching a bit of basketball, I think, Nick Morton, just holding the ball at sort of at half court and just directing instructions. Who's moving, who's on the pick and roll. Stavecki Marins gets it to Oscar Thomas, and the training run has begun here at Darcy Street. Farrell to Gary Tyler Fisher saying, where's my help, lads? And they're all just trying to protect the current scoreline, I think, at the moment, Tyler. Morton to Walter. Linger gets a toe in, but Gorry wins it back already, and Linger fights again. Surely fouled by Gorry in the end, and that'll relieve some pressure for the moment on the City defence. Isaac DeGhetto will now come on for South Hobart. Curious to see who gets an early minute. Probably DeVecchi, I would guess. It does seem like it is DeVecchi Marins coming off.
Well, he's on a couple of penalties today, Renato DeVecchi. He's got some tough treatment. Obviously exaggerates it a tad, but he certainly comes in for some very rough physical attention, especially the last couple of weeks. But he's done his job, and South Hobart are going to secure the 3 points today to dial up the pressure on the strikers ahead of their 4:30 game against Northern Rangers. We'll have Camille Douglas bringing you a commentary of that game, so do tune in for that. An important game in the title race, that one. Devonport could take a giant step towards it with a victory. If Rangers were to cause an upset, geez, we'd have a very, very interesting final fortnight in prospect then.
Yeah, do like playing the role of spoiler, do the Northern Rangers. They potentially set back South Hobart's more likely title hopes with a win down here a few weeks back, as the ball into the centre. Millington rising up, but Farrell will hoof that one clear. Kemp can't keep it in. Launceston City searching for a second. Soupy Campbell just gaining a few metres. Down the line, looking for Scott. Schmidt clears. Just running away from the play there with some Launceston City players, despite the fact that it's got their throw in. Launched towards Fisher. Back to Soupy Campbell, who goes towards the back stick. Gorry had to clear it. It'll be a corner for Launceston City, their first in a significant amount of time. Yeah, it's been a while since they've been up this end of the park.
Just their second corner of the game, in fact. The City had one pretty early, and there's been a long time between corners for them. Smith to take this one. And 10 men of City still fighting on to the back post. It's a good-looking ball, and Scott unable to get on the end of it. For a moment, I thought he was going to sit nicely there from Liam Scott. Not to be.
Great touch there from Walter Pless as well.
Just casually having to lean back on the fence, showing off his techies.
Still managing to have the accurate pass while leaning back on the fence. 10 out of 10 effort there.
Class is permanent, as they say.
Absolutely. As Oscar Thomas finds Jack Turner. Morton plays that one in behind DeGhetto, and Millington thought Fisher was going to run in behind, but he pulled off short, had the attacker. Kieran Brown. To the Archer. Morton. Back to Gorry, who's go very close to winning an NPL Tas beep test competition. Adam Gorry, he's got an absolute motor on him. As Walter into the box, Kemp! Oh, he's missed it again. Kobe Kemp took a bit of a high bounce, just at a slightly awkward height, but you would think a player of his quality would be able to tap that one in. Turner tries to give Kemp another opportunity. Battling away on the far side. Smith. Kemp keeps it in play. In the box is DeGhetto, shoots, and Giansopoulos gets down well to save. Another shot on target for South, but can't quite get past the Canadian.
He's had a good game today, Giansopoulos, as we have another look at that ball from Alex Walter. Tough bounce for Kemp, but just ends up nutmegging himself there. He's better off going with the left foot.
Straight through the legs.
To take a tough bounce. There's another substitution in the offing. Mackenzie Hancox is going to come on here and replace Tyler Fisher. So a young striker coming on for the Star American, which I think is probably as close to a concession that they're not going to score 2 late goals as he'll get. I'm sure he's overly thrilled at being subbed there, Tyler Fisher. Doesn't look the happiest camper after that decision, but to see young Mackenzie Hancox getting a few minutes here at the end, a good prospect up north. Maybe Kemp will eventually take this one if he gets permission. He plays it short to Schmidt, who is in plenty of space, blocked off by Millington. Schmidt now battling with his opposite number, Soupy Campbell, who tears off past a pair of them and looks further afield to Hancox. Hancox dwells, then puts it back through for Campbell, who's continued his run, but he's out of petrol tickets, I think, here, big Soupy Campbell. He's soldiering on, and he's surely fouled. We're going to see if an advantage develops. In the end, they'll get a throw in. And he might feel he deserved a little bit more for his efforts there, big Soupy.
Yeah, it was running like a best before Campbell Soup. There's Soupy Campbell, a bit thick in the legs. He usually has a good turn of pace to him, Soupy Campbell, but he's been running after Deveki Marins for most of the game. He'll now have an opportunity to whip it in, but that's closer to the canteen than it is to the goal. So there's 2 minutes left of normal time here at Darcy Street. Kieran Brown in no rush to take this one. Probably just take it short here to the Archer if he wants to, and he does. Somehow Jack Bowman managed to sell his keeper short then, despite being under no pressure whatsoever. Morton down the line, good flick on, and just getting in the way is Lindsay Millington. A very slow start, South Hobart dialed it up pretty quickly there. Morton. Gorry. The switch is on here for South if they want it. Turner has dropped a lot deeper since DeGhetto's come on. More of a natural striker. Here's DeGhetto. Turner now with the ball in. Gorry pushed in the back. Walter hits it first time, but goes wide of the mark. Just set up nicely for Walter. Yeah. Good purchase on it, but just slightly too much instep on that one. Here's Giansopoulos, who's got the captain's armband since Syson went off. Flick on header. One in the end as the game winds down naturally, I would say.
Yeah, just about ticking into stoppage time. Not quite the excitement we had in the dying embers of last week's game here at Darcy Street, with Devonport knocking on the door, trying to find a leveller that would have won them the title. Fortunately for the title race, to say, none was forthcoming, and South are about to draw level on points with Devonport. That goal difference in game in hand, though, leaning the edge, remaining very much with the strikers, as this one's chipped forward towards Hancox, sends it wide for Smith. Smith will look to get past Turner. He's bodying up on him. Smith soldiering on, but shake the attentions of Turner and settles for a throw in. Tired looking bodies out there now. We're in to stoppage time. Can't imagine there'll be a whole lot of them. That was a very tired looking throw, and in fact it was a foul throw. So just giving it back.
Bet they're wishing there was a physio table on this bus on the way back. There'll be some sore bodies on that coach.
Yeah, I think a few will run themselves into the ground out there today, but they'll be able to get the result they were searching for. City limping a little towards the finish line this season. As Smith swings one towards the back post. Nobody there though, except for Adam Gorry. Let this one run out, but it's been a successful season as we touched on pre-game for City. Expectations heading into the year, I don't think anyone thought they were going to be in the midst of the title race, let alone leading the league by 6 points midway through the year. Disappointing the way they're faded as Hancock's tries his luck from range, and Kieran Brown just gives it a casual glance up and says, come on, don't bother with that.
Good to see the young striker showing no fear with having a shot in any case.
This stage of the game, absolutely. Why not?
Yeah, why not? Kieran Brown and Oscar Thomas. Out to Morton, who's looked pretty comfortable in a deeper role today. Doesn't need to do a whole lot of grunt defensive work in there. He's just been playing a controlling role, just directing traffic. Gorry. To Morton. Will he give Kieran Brown a touch? He will. To Oscar Thomas. The Giraffe is pressured by the fresh legs of Hancock's. And Bowman. This feels like one of those games where, you know, the scoreline's already set and they're just kind of ambling through. I'm thinking of that the World Cup game. It was just a lot of nothing for about 20 minutes.
Oh, the wonderful Denmark-France game.
Thank you.
It didn't look like world champions that day, but we'll get used to that, World Cup fans, with this ridiculous new format they're bringing in next time. You'll see plenty of games like that as Kobe Kemp rolls it through for Connor Schmidt. He's looking to join in on the action, but once again, Giantsopoulos has denied him. He's had another good day, the Canadian. His highlights reel's been bolstered the past couple of weeks, but he can't deny South Hobart the 3 points they so desperately wanted this afternoon from Darcy Street. They take care of business and they leap equal with Devonport on points atop the table, with the Strikers about half an hour away from taking on the Northern Rangers. So they've done their part, South. They've kept up the pressure. Now they're going to need some favours from elsewhere. The team they just beat, in fact, probably the best poised to trouble Devonport next week when they come back from the FFA Cup. It's out of their hands. They can only control the 3 matches they've got left. Well, 2 now. They've taken the 3 points today. It was a pretty professional display. Probably would have had more if not for the Canadian.
Yeah, I think Giantsopoulos is certainly Launceston City's best on ground and really kept the side in it, especially with the penalty save. I mean, some standing strong in the face of constant pressure, particularly in that second half. South Hobart fully deserving of their victory. And don't mean to gloat, but that's probably the first prediction I've got right all season.
Oh, absolutely. Gloat away then, Paulie. I'll tell you what.
But considering how far out I usually am, I've taken this opportunity. It's yeah, pretty professional performance, as you said, from South Hobart. Devonport now need to do what they need to do against Rangers in half hour. Launceston City, I think they put up as good a fight. I don't think you can certainly question any of their heart or endeavour in this game, but I just think South Hobart have got a bit more fitness behind them and just run out games a little more, and that was the main case here today. Yep,
and that will be us for round 19. The NPL Tasmania will be back next week. From memory, we'll be at Bucky Land Rover Park for Devonport versus Launceston City, I think. That's our screen game next week, so do join us for that one. It will be a most decisive game. Of course, before then, a couple of big games still to come in this round. Clarence and Kingborough. Clarence with their best chance probably left on the schedule to avoid a winless season. And do or die for them perhaps against Kingborough. whilst this evening do tune in to Camille Douglas's call of Northern Rangers beat Devonport, the next big step on the way to the league title. It's going to be a massive game this evening, so do tune in to Camille's call of that one on Slice of Cheese. You can find that one. But from us here at the Slice of Cheese team and the Buy on Stream team of Ash and Gloucester, do join us again next week. Hope you enjoyed this afternoon's game. South Hobart keeping themselves alive, but only just.
I know you wanted to.